No pride for some of us without liberation for all of us. Marsha P. Johnson. Sitting in Stonewall the day after the protest ended, I cried. I kept crying. For those that came before me, for those that sacrificed their lives trying to create a world with more space and more love for people like me, and anyone else out there fighting to just exist. Whew! Wow, this has been a lot. This past week, I'm still processing it all, but just wow. I don't hesitate when I say it was one of the proudest moments of my life and the proudest moves of my life. I feel lighter, happier, freer, and I feel I am contributing to this world positively with the tools I have been gifted and the experience in this incredible life I have had the privilege of living. Wrapping this all up is hard. It's a lot. Where I'm at now. I'm ready to, part of me is ready to stand for 12 more months outside of that school. You can say I'm energized. I also, realistically, I'm excited for the break. So how long will it be? Well, as always, that's to be determined. It's where I'm at right now. I will say there's a holiday with some great protest themes that's coming up in March, but I won't be making any promises or say anything for certain. The only thing I am committed to is growing, healing, and making positive change. And right now, I'm going to use this time to do all three and assess the best path to continue doing all three. In the meantime, we can look back on this journey, and what a frickin' journey it has been, from those terrifying first episodes coming to you shirtless from Hawaii. It's been 9 months, long enough to birth a baby. This whole thing's kind of been like one long birthing process. I've learned a lot. I'm quite proud. Are there things I would change? It's certainly far from perfect, and I'm saddened if the process of me freeing myself and in that process, I unintentionally hurt others. If so, I am sorry. But of course, what I don't regret is naming my abusers and the enablers of said abuse. That process has deeply freed me from internalizing the abuse as my fault. I am not necessarily recommending this for everyone, but God, it's so therapeutic to name abuse publicly in a forum like this. Because once it's posted, it's no longer yours to hold. You're free to finally let go and start healing. Coming out as trans did that for me. Naming the abuse at the hands of my birth mother, naming abusive dynamics with friends and siblings, naming the abuse at the hands of my therapist, my doctor program, my rabbis, and naming abusive and problematic dynamics in my religion and upbringing has done this for me. It's helped me let go. It's helped me stop defending these systems. It's helped me stop blaming myself. Well, not on purpose. It is interesting that the midway point of this whole first season was episode 16, My Problem with Zionism. One hell of a foreshadow. Of course, I certainly didn't plan then that it was going to end up like this. From the beginning of this podcast, I could barely picture what life would be like after the third Instagram post. Not the third episode, the third post, like the thing with the rut rose. Yeah, each one was fucking terrifying. But one by one, I moved forward, inching closer and closer to freedom. I officially have shared almost everything I was ever afraid in my life to share. And this has freed me to now shift my focus to the present and future. Of course, and it's no small feat. Goddamn, holy shit, I did it! Wow! Okay. Of course, ghosts of the past still do live inside of me, and God, in active ways, harmful systems and people can re-trigger this stuff. But man, years of therapy did not come close to bringing me the healing of 9 months of this podcast. And the best part, I deeply feel it didn't just free me, but others too. And hopefully future searchers who might find these videos when the time is right. Maybe 3 months from now, maybe 3 years. Hell, 3 decades if YouTube still exists by then. Woo! I said it in episode 5, I'll say it again now. If this is it, if this is all I'll ever do, Dayenu. Dayenu. I'll know I lived brave, I lived free, and I made a difference. And no one can ever take that from me. And so yeah, sitting on Tuesday night last week before posting, I was panicking, as I have before each major episode, heart pounding, wondering if this was finally the time I took it too far. But of course inside I knew these feelings were the same, if not extremely similar to before. See, when gambling, a lesson I learned when playing blackjack that can be vital to success is that you should play each hand the same, no matter how much money is on the line. If it's a double down situation, then you should double down, whether it's $20 on the hand or $2,000. Or else you risk missing a golden chance at success. Would the world spin on if I hadn't done it, if I backed out? Sure. But I now know I would be less free. And so would anyone else whom I protest or has already helped and woken up. And so yeah, I saw fear and I recognized it as not mine. See, there's genuine fear, and then there's systemic, coded-in, controlling fear. Genuine fear is don't try to pet a grizzly bear. Coded-in fear is don't dare speak out against powerful communities and institutions. It is those fears that keep these power systems churning. Without our silence, they could not function as smoothly as they do. That is what I mean by enabling. And so yeah, I did it. How was it? Well, intense. Holy shit. Some reflections. Many Flappish students predictably said some horrific things. The bullying was consistent, of course certainly predictable, but certainly not justifiable. Some examples, both light and heavy. The use of the N-word, the use of the word faggot, singing in praise of Charlie Kirk, chanting my dead name, telling me to get a job, which is kind of funny because they're all in high school, calling me weird, and repeatedly saying trans kids don't exist. There were also a random passerby not affiliated with the school who, among other things, called me things like cocksucker, told me to kill myself, and even told... one was even trying to convince me that if I just followed the Torah a bit more, I would find my way. God, was I not from enough? Did I not study enough? God, okay. I was also threatened with violence at least once, not by the students, by random strangers, and intimidated by someone purporting to be part of the Shomrim, which are like these religious police, and someone else got in my face. It was a lot, not unexpected, but still deeply sad. I will say many people were supportive. The screams of Marcel from the classroom windows, were lovely. And those who dared to make the heart sign back to me, right back at you, right back at you. Priceless. Of course, there were those that brought me food, warm clothes, and just gave me words of chizuk and encouragement. It was really sweet. I feel certain ways about the visitors that came to talk to me. I specifically said quite clearly in my post to not attempt to communicate with me. Again, I expected the boundary to be violated, but that doesn't mean that it's okay that it was. It's really akin to rape as non-consensual boundary violations despite clear communication of non-desire for said communication. I set a boundary and you guys crossed it. Because what? You really wanted to? You were afraid you would never see me again? I mean, think about if we were talking about that in the context of like a sexual interaction. Like if you passed someone's boundary because you were going to miss them. Yes, I was protesting, but that's like saying someone dressed provocatively is asking to be raped. Or like if your girlfriend's leaving for good, it's okay to assault her. Yeah, so overall not okay. And to those who actually followed this boundary, thank you. Even if you were just too lazy to come, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Thank you for respecting the boundary. Obviously, there were many pleasant and deeply impactful conversations I would not take back, and I'm glad I had. Yeah, well, in terms of breaking my silence, I followed the where I'm at now logic and spoke when I felt it would be either more impactful to speak than stay silent, and maybe just in self-defense situations. And yes, the warm clothes, the food, those were vital to my protest surviving. Again, I am appreciative. It's still not okay, and in no sense was this okay that people were just haphazardly, with barely even an apology, breaking the no communication boundary. But yeah, despite all this, I held strong. Like everything I had done in my entire life had prepared me just for these exact moments. Powerful, life-changing conversation after powerful, life-changing conversation. One after the next, after the next. I'm glad I had the public library to use as both an office, a bathroom, and a meeting space. And yeah, it was a lot to hold space. If it was just the convos with family and friends, that would have been difficult. All the boundary setting and communication, And yet at the same time, I was standing bravely defiant for what I believe in, surrounded by people who deeply disagree with my viewpoints and may or may not have wanted to hurt me. Whatever your belief system is, I imagine you can, at the very least, respect the courage and bravery it took to do this, to actually stand on my values and to try to make positive change in this world. Whew, okay. There are some more thank yous. A big thank you to Flatbush Security. The security guards who were outside the school literally defended me in many occasions, warding off strangers, harassing me multiple times. Thank you. Even if you just protected me as to not make this a bigger scene than it was, still, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you to the First Amendment. America sucks in all too many ways, but maybe there are some good pieces. Maybe we can use the master's tools to bring down the master's house. It's incredible that I was able to do this legally and could not, and that nobody could move me. And for that, I am grateful for the rights that I do have in this country, despite them not nearly being enough to protect the people who desperately need protecting in this country. But there's something, and there's, something worth maintaining. Okay, we're getting closer. And it's getting sad. I'm gonna miss you guys. I'll miss this. I mean, it may not be long, but it also might be. And I just don't know for sure where this is going. This is where I'm at now. And a few words to just, add on some misconceptions. The first one, really, really frustrating and painful. This idea of because, as in, he's doing this because. I was going to make a whole episode just on this concept. He's doing this because he's upset at his parents. He's doing this because the school hurt him. He's doing this because he has mental health problems. He's doing this because he wants attention. Anything else? No? Are you good? Okay. First off, get my damn pronouns right. It's she, they. As in she, her, or they, them. Thank you very much. Secondly, each one of these narratives takes my position, shames it, denies it, and stuffs it into a framework that allows your delusions to survive. Do you realize how all of those excuses conveniently defend your position and your perspective on reality? If I was just upset at my parents, then everything I'm saying about trans people in Palestine and the validity of biblical Moses maybe can be ignored. That's what you'll say. You could go on as normal and not feel bad for supporting genocide or enabling violence through the silence about trans kids. If I was just looking for attention, then we can just write this whole thing off, right? Just call me borderline or narcissist or whatever you want to insert there. And just say this is, a manic episode or something, or some sense of grandiosity. Folks, ad hominem. As in you are attacking me instead of actually addressing the issues I'm bringing up. Please, focus on the issues. And please consider that I'm doing this because I actually believe it's true. That should be enough. Even if you don't agree with my perspective, try for a second to take it. Empathize. If you believed the Torah wasn't true, if you were trans or knew for sure transness was real, then how would you feel about all this? If you felt the school's policies were putting kids at risk in the school and in Palestine, wouldn't you fight for them too? Like if a baskol, if a heavenly voice literally came down from heaven and told you that trans kids exist, Moses was a myth, and Israel is committing genocide, and you knew for certain, what would be your next move? Wouldn't you stand next to me? Literally, what excuse would you have not to? I'm not asking you to agree with me, but to understand that this isn't mental health symptomology, it's a philosophical perspective, and one deeply based in research, theory, and lived experience. One visitor asked me frankly to do the exercise in the other direction. That is, he asked me if I heard a heavenly voice say that the Torah was indeed true, then what would I do? Would I continue? And honestly, if I knew for sure that I was wrong, that the Torah was true, and the whole Sinai experience happened, well, honestly, I think I'd turn around and get a new poster that advocates for kids to become more from and teaches them about how cell phones, Google, and ChatGPT are putting Jewish lives at risk with dangerous anti-Torah perspectives. The From world certainly helped me learn about where your cracks are, modern orthodoxy, folks. Wow. And so yes, if I was wrong and I knew it for sure, I'd be sad, confused about what I do with all my feelings and my transness that is there. And perhaps I'd try to find a compassionate Orthodox rabbi to help me navigate all that, and maybe an Orthodox Jewish therapist. Wait, don't we know this story? Right, because I did live this. I did this. I used to think this. So yeah, I'm willing to entertain what it would look like if I was wrong, and if I knew for sure that I was, and to think about how I would act on that. I'm asking you to, at the very least, stop squeezing me into your narrow view of the world and begin to understand that I am just taking a philosophical position, one that prioritizes minimizing the suffering of humans and fellow species and treats them as equal and maximizes our space for empathy and compassion. Wow. Ironically, in the beginning, many of the kids were questioning if I even was Jewish at all, and why I had picked this specific school. And some people even asked me if I even knew a trans person, and I just waved. Hey, I'm here. One of the amazing aspects of the protest is from now forward, every kid in that school can check the box of I know a trans person. And that's not nothing. In a strange way, I'm using their racism against them, because they clearly favor Syrian Jewish people. They now have to wrestle with the fact that one of them is this. I am not an alien. I am not a monster. I went to their schools, I was part of their systems, and I could have continued in them if I wanted to, and lived at the very top of their power structures. That is not nothing, and that is hard to create fake stories around. It's hard to ignore. So am I upset at the school and my birth parents and my conversion therapist? Of course I am! Not just because I was hurt, but because of the act of hurt, the active enmeshed systems in place right now, perpetuating the hurt. These things are still happening every day to others. This isn't a grudge, it's a rescue mission. If anything, I'm the most mad at those with the most power right now, and that is not Flatbush or the SY community. No, it's our government and American billionaire oligarchs funding this shit going on in Palestine and allowing systems in place that hate. I mean, the recent laws against trans, this stuff is horrific. So why don't I go protest them? Because they won't give a shit about me. I won't make that much of a difference. I think it's complex, and maybe I will. It's hard to understand fully where my power positions. But I know for sure that with you guys, I got a lot of bang for my buck. This Syrian face is hard for you to ignore. Was this attention-seeking? Well, I'd say attention-seeking for the good. Somewhere in me, a deep part of me who never got to do senior prank was certainly smiling. Thanks, mofo. I wouldn't deny that. I mean, what a fantastic act of defiance against an authoritative institution. But the difference here is that this is not a senior prank. It's not just for silly fun and games. No, this was for the good, to literally free others. And so for that, I'm glad to attract attention and use my platform to attract attention to issues I think are vitally important. And finally, but we love you. God, how many times I heard those words? I just want you to know we all love you. Really? Really? So please, I'm waiting for you to acknowledge even a tenth of the harm you were complicit in. And continue to be. Or really, I'm done waiting. I'm working on finding new community, and I'm getting closer and closer to that goal every day. And so on the fly, in response to many of these I love yous that just didn't feel right, I developed 3 distinct categories to finally help me explain to people why words like we love you can be deeply harmful. I thought it was helpful to separate between the 3 categories, so we have love intended, love capacity, and love received. Whew. Those who say we love you have what I would call love intentions. Hypothetically, they want to love me, but they may not be able to actually love me in ways that feel loving, as they never learn to love their own selves or to have empathy for being different and accepting differences from the cookie-cutter mainstream. And God, when those words are used like I love you, but not followed with genuine love, curiosity, and compassion, and instead followed by statements of gaslighting and emotional abuse, it's like a check given that not only cannot be cashed, but actually steals money from your account. Ow. Love, at least the way I see it, is not loving if it's not given with curiosity and compassion about how it feels to be received and how it's wanted to be received. Maybe you feel committed to me. Commitment. That's not love necessarily. It's something very powerful and clearly hard to break, for better or worse. But no, it doesn't feel like love. It's not love if you hand someone with a peanut allergy a box of Reese's Puffs. If you really love someone, then ask, how is it they want to receive love? Ask them what feels good for them, what they are looking for. No, you don't have to do this. It's a choice, of course, but you can if you want to. For me, when people get my pronouns right, when they get my name right, when they honor my experience as valid and my perspective as one that is worthy of consideration, that just feels so loving. When they guilt me, shame me, chastise me, that's not love. That's just a Musser lecture I didn't ask for. Wow. All right. Next one. We're going through it all. So many of the students asked me if I believed in God during my protest. My poster on Moses may seem to say that I am atheist. But for those who've listened to this podcast and listened intently, they would know I am not exactly atheist. At the very minimum, I'm agnostic. Is it possible that there is nothing beyond what we can perceive and measure? I mean, I guess. I think it's unlikely that we discover new things every day. Like, my body's going to disintegrate, right, into the ground when I die. See episode 6? Does that mean I will become the tree that grows out of the ground? Will I be the ground itself? Where does my consciousness go? Does it go anywhere? I don't know. Who can know? What I do know is we don't know enough to justify hatred and bigotry based on historically inaccurate religious texts. I also deeply feel that there is something happening here in this wild, crazy universe, and something bigger than our individual selves. Like, we are all part of this large whole. Like, almost like branches of a tree, and this same tree, and our experience is all one, of all, like, interconnected godliness, not just among us humans, but like every living and even non-living thing in this universe, all together in one glorious dance. Whoa, yeah. I realize some of you may think I'm developing some sort of delusions, maybe even a messianic complex. I mean, hell, the Moses story may be a myth, but it certainly has some cool parallels to what I'm doing. Moses was one hell of a social justice warrior who disagreed with power systems he was raised in. Hell, God, even Jesus had some decent things to say about letting go of strict Jewish law and giving away our belongings and loving the poor. But again, this story is bigger than me. If anything, I hope it shows that anyone can be a Messiah. That everyone has it within themselves to find their own version of an inner quote-unquote Messiah. No, we can't all save the world. Yes, even me. I know, I'm limited. Would you believe? But we can look inside and ask ourselves, how can I change the world around me? How can I live my life to its fullest potential? How can I create the most joy, meaning, and connection? And those, folks, are some damn good questions. For me, in just asking those questions and getting to know my own feelings, I feel so deeply connected to myself and the world around me. It's almost like it's a sense of prophecy. No, I'm not talking about having magic powers or seeing the future, but I can try to listen intently to the messages coming from inside of me and from outside. Folks, our built-in emotional response systems are deeply wise. My first song in this whole podcast journey that I put as a song of the week was the poem by Rumi, The Guest House. Every day, a new arrival, each sent as a messenger from beyond. He's talking about our feelings, folks. Learning to trust my feelings has been an incredibly healing and rewarding process. Each day, I become better and better at listening to those signals inside of me and around me. Many witnessed this in person as I clutched my heart in pain and went into silence from hurtful words. And then on the other side, glowed and had warm smiles for those who came towards me with loving and open hearts. See, my heart is one of my signals that warns me of danger. So are my shoulders, my gut, and lets me know what feels good, who feels good, what sits right, and what doesn't. It's not a perfect science, but damn is it a powerful one. And I'd hope that everyone can get a chance to learn how it feels to actually be at one with ourselves and our signals. And to hear the messages our bodies are screaming, God, roaring to tell us. I'm not there fully yet, but I am certainly tasting it, and damn does it taste good. It's scary, certainly. My feelings have asked me to do a lot. God, this has been a series of doing the scariest things I could have ever imagined doing every freaking episode. Big leap after big leap after big leap. Dr. Gay Hendricks would be proud. In his book, he said that when we do this, take our big leaps, and towards living our fullest, most authentic selves, it's like the entire universe conspires to help us. And I deeply feel it has been like one giant trust fall, and she has caught me so warmly and lovingly. I mean, this past week, I relied heavily on this idea that a shaliach mitzvah will not be harmed. God. And so, yeah, I'm here, I'm still living, I'm still smiling, and I'm excited to continue to tell this tale. So what's next? Who knows? As the great Natasha Bedingield said, the rest remains unwritten. Oh. And so, yeah, I hope you too can tap into your inner knowing, your inner connection to the world around you, and start to ask how you too can be part of this wild story we call life and living. Is there a God? Maybe. And if there is, I think she loves me. I really do. And she certainly gives the warmest hugs and kisses. Right back at you. Thank you. And so, yeah, that's it. That's all, folks. Thanks for coming along for the ride. It's been a hell of a ride. And, one more time. It's been it's been a privilege and a pleasure. I hope you have a magically delicious day. A Hui Hou.